About 2 weeks after buying the GoWild Pass, I pulled up my Columbus Airport on Frontier's city-to-city tool and counted my direct GoWild routes. 4. I have 4 direct routes out of CMH to Denver, Atlanta, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale. And it's at that moment I understood exactly why some people love this pass and why other people feel that they threw their money away. 10,000 of you watched my first video on this pass, and the most common question that kept coming through my comments was this. Okay, I get that the math could work, but how do I actually use this thing? That is exactly what this video is. I bought the pass, I've been inside the booking interface, and I'm going to show you the rules that Frontier does not put in bold on their marketing page. So let's get into it. Now, before we go any further, if you've not seen the first video, the link is in the description and pinned in the comments. That video breaks down whether the math works, what the pass costs, and the credit card strategy that changes the entire value equation. Watch that first. This video picks up where that one left off. What I did not have when I made that video was the pass itself. Now I do, and that changes what I can show you. Here is the thing that nobody talks about when they sell you on the GoWild Pass. Frontier advertises over 100 destinations across the United States, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Now that number is technically true, but the number that actually matters for you is the number of direct GoWild routes from your specific airport. Those are 2 very different numbers. Frontier runs a hub and spoke network, and if you do not understand where your airport sits in that network, you're going to be frustrated before you even take your first flight. Now, Denver is the spine of the entire operation. If you fly into Denver, the entire network opens up. Orlando is the second major hub. It's a massive leisure operation. Atlanta and Harry Reid International in Las Vegas round out the primary hubs. Then you have crew bases. These are cities where Frontier has significant operations. Philadelphia, Atlanta, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, San Juan, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Chicago with both O'Hare and Midway, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Phoenix. And there are also 2 focus cities, which is Trenton, New Jersey, and BWI, which is in Baltimore. What this means is simple. If your home airport is one of these cities, your GoWild opportunities are significantly wider. If your home airport is not on this list, you need to do some homework before you buy. Now let's talk about one of the most useful pages that a lot of people do not talk about, and that's the city-to-city page. If you go to Travel Info and Help, just hover over it. Go to Plan Your Trip and where it says Where We Fly. Once you click on that, you'll see something referencing a route map. But scroll down to All Routes, click on it, and then click the link where it says Check out our city-to-city flights page. The beauty of this page is that it shows you every direct flight from every airport that Frontier works with. And this is what's going to give you that secret sauce to know what your capabilities are. So for my home airport, which is Columbus, Ohio, and when we scroll down, you'll see that I only have 4 direct options: Atlanta, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando, Florida. That is the universe of my direct GoWild access. So you're going to want to make sure to bookmark this page before you buy the pass. Run your airport through this tool. Now you might be thinking, okay, I can just reposition. I can drive to a bigger airport and unlock more routes. And yes, I could even drive to Cleveland or Cincinnati. Both are crew-based cities with more routes. But here is where you have to be honest with the math. The moment you add gas, tolls, parking, and potentially a hotel to your trip, you have burned real money against a pass you bought to save money. That is a trap. Run your repositioning math before you assume those airports are accessible to you. Before you even think about the booking rules, there is one more qualifying question you need to answer honestly. When do you actually want to fly? The GoWild Pass has blackout dates, and these are not minor. They cover the windows when most people want to travel. Thanksgiving week, the Christmas and New Year stretch, spring break, peak summer weekends, major holiday Mondays. These dates are published on Frontier's website that you see here, and I'll link the page in the description. If your home airport has 4 direct GoWild routes, like mine, and your primary travel windows are Thanksgiving and Christmas, the pass may not serve your actual travel patterns regardless of what the per trip math says. Check the Blackout calendar against your real calendar before you buy, not your wish list, your actual travel windows. This is the honest test. If your travel is flexible enough to avoid those peak windows, the pass gets more valuable, not less, because you're flying when everyone else is paying full price. If this is the kind of math nobody else is running for you, that is what we do every single week. Hit the subscribe button. It is free and it will always be free. Now here is the part Frontier puts in the fine print, the rules that determine whether you actually get a seat or go home empty-handed. So stay with me. Now let's talk about the rules that are technically disclosed, but not exactly presented in a way that makes them easy to understand. These are the rules I had to learn by being inside the system. And the most important one is the one I call the midnight rule. But first, one thing you need to understand before we even get to booking. Now remember, GoWild seats are capacity controlled. That means Frontier decides on a flight-by-flight basis how many seats, if any, are available at the GoWild rate. Not every flight has them. Not even every departure time has them. This is not a guaranteed seat product. It is an inventory-based product, and understanding that changes how you approach your search entirely. Now, here's the first unofficial rule, and I want to be clear. This is not a Frontier policy. This is a pattern that experienced GoWild users have identified before the midnight window, and that is to check the total seat count on your target flight. So let's say, for example, that I am looking at going from Columbus, Ohio to one of my 4 options, which is Atlanta. And the departure date we're going to pay attention to is obviously within 1 calendar day. So we're going to look at April 26th. Now, we're not going to be looking at round trip because remember, GoWild will only work if this is an up and back on the same day to qualify for GoWild rates on both ways. So we're only looking one way on April 26th. And what we're going to do is we're going to max out the travelers to 9, which is the most that you can do a search for space at any time. So we're moving that to 9 adults, and we're going to hit search just to see if we have any availability. And so now what we can do is scroll down, and we see that there are various flights, but there's only one nonstop flight from Columbus to Atlanta here. But what we see is that all 3 of these trips have at least the 9 seats we're looking for. Now, what that will normally kind of hint us towards is that if we see that there are 9 seats available, then there's a very good chance that the GoWild Pass will be available for that particular flight when we hit the midnight window. So this would be something that would be good to look at once we get to 11:30 p.m. For that night to be able to see if there's going to be some options. So when I look at this, I'm believing that we're going to see GoWild options for this 1 hour, 45-minute nonstop flight. Now, of course, the other 2 flights are not ideal, but that is what we're going to be looking for. Now, if you don't see 9 seats, that's okay. Start reducing your number down to see where you might trigger it. And 9 is just our ideal, 9 or more. But if you still see 6, 7, 5, there's still a good chance that you may be able to see a GoWild option. But that is the pre-screening that we do to try to give us an idea of what may be available when we hit that midnight window. So the domestic booking window for the GoWild opens 1 calendar day, not 24 hours, calendar day before departure. Technically, that means the window is available the day before. In practice, the inventory you actually want will normally appear at midnight local time for the departure airport's time zone. Now, here's where people do get burned. If I'm in Columbus, Ohio, Eastern Standard Time, and if I want to book a GoWild flight departing Las Vegas, which is on Pacific time, I cannot look at midnight Eastern. That flight's midnight window does not open until midnight Pacific, which is 3:01 a.m. my time. Now, if I'm searching at midnight Eastern, I'm searching 3 hours too early for a Las Vegas departure. So let's look at this midnight option as it goes with that Columbus to Atlanta flight that we talked about, where we saw the multiple seats available, to see if it is available. So we're going to go back here to Columbus to Atlanta. We're going to make this a one-way trip, of course. The departure date is going to be, once again, April 26th. And this time, we're only looking for one adult because the GoWild Pass is really for a single traveler. And so we'll click search. You have to be logged into your GoWild account to make sure that you're able to see potential GoWild options. So as I scroll down, I see that there is a $16 one-way option for GoWild. So I will click on that. And now we will scroll back down again, and we see that actually the one flight that I was very interested in, the nonstop flight, does have GoWild, and it's not available on the other ones, which I did not look any deeper in. So for this, we have a $16 one-way option. You would click it, and then they want you to review it, and they're showing here that the GoWild Pass savings is $219 for that one-way flight. Click continue, and at this time they give you, because we were looking at basic fare, basic economy for the GoWild Pass, you'll get an option if you want to add an economy bundle, which would include the carry-on bag, standard seat, being able to change or cancellation fees. We're just going to not include that for this example. So we'll click basic fare works for me. I understand purchasing options separately. Click continue with basic. And now you're entering in your passenger information. And I want to say this directly because it matters more than any other tip in this video. This pass requires flexibility. Not sometimes flexible, not mostly flexible, genuinely schedule level flexible. If you need to be somewhere on a specific date and you cannot risk not having a return flight confirmed, the math on the pass will not save you. This is not a criticism, it's just reality. And it leads us directly into the most important strategic conversation this video is going to have. I want to show you a situation that came straight from my comments, and it changes everything about how you think about the return trip. Here is the part that nobody may have told you before you bought the pass, and it is the most important decision you will make as a GoWild user. For domestic flights, unless you are flying round trip on the same calendar day, you cannot book a round trip at GoWild rates in a single transaction. You book the outbound, the return is a separate decision. That means when you land at your destination, you've got three options. One, you search for GoWild availability the calendar day before you want to fly home and book it if it's there. Two, you pay the standard Frontier fare for a confirmed return. Or three, you stay flexible and do not book a return until inventory appears at GoWild rates. None of these options are wrong, but all three require a decision before you book the outbound. And most people do not think about it until they're already at the destination. I want to share a real situation from my comment section because I really think it illustrates this better than any hypothetical I could build. Someone reached out after the first video. He is in a long-distance relationship. He's based in BWI in Baltimore. She's in Atlanta. They are going to get married in a few months, but the long-distance relationship continues for a few more years. And he asked me directly, does the GoWild Pass work for his situation? Now, my answer was yes, with the right framing. Here's the thing. Even if he only captures the one-way GoWild flight to Atlanta on the way down, and he pays standard fare on the return because his schedule does not allow flexibility, he is still extracting real value. His break-even on the annual pass is not round trips. It is total segments at GoWild pricing. The one-way math still works depending on how frequently he's going to make that trip. Your situation determines the math. Run it for your specific use case before you write the pass off or write the return trip off. One more thing before I move on. For any flight where the stakes are high, a wedding, a funeral, a work commitment, something where you literally cannot miss it. Consider booking a refundable ticket on Southwest or even Breeze as a backup. Check availability first because not every route has those options. But the GoWild Pass is a tool, and tools do not replace certainty when certainty is what you actually need. Now, I do have one more move that changes the annual math on this pass entirely, and I did not cover it in the first video. The first video that I did on Frontier covered the credit card's carry-on and seat selection savings. Well, I want to build on that because there's an angle I did not cover in that video that changes the GoWild math, especially if you're buying the pass for the first time. Now, this is the Frontier Airlines World MasterCard from Barclays. There are a few things worth noting here. The annual fee is waived in the first year. The welcome bonus is commonly 50,000 points, though make sure to check the current offer because that can change. But here's what I want you to focus on. When you are approved for this card, you receive automatic gold status for 90 days. And if you hit the minimum spend threshold in those first 90 days, that gold status extends to a full year. Now, gold status is going to give you that free carry-on and seat selection perks, the same benefits I walked through the math on video 1. But now those benefits are locked in for a full year, regardless of how many individual flights you take. If you are a serious GoWild Pass user, this is the move. The card is not just a cost offset, it is a status accelerator. And when you combine the status perks with GoWild inventory, your effective cost per trip drops significantly. The math says this is worth running. And if you want to make sure that you're always using the right card for the right purchase to maximize those points across your entire wallet, I use CardPointers for that, and the link is in the description. Now, before I give you my final verdict, I need to answer the question that has been sitting in my comments since the first video. And the question is, what about the discount den? Is that a better option? Well, let me show you both. Here is the key difference. The GoWild Pass is built for the solo traveler with maximum flexibility. The discount den is a completely different product designed for groups and families. With Discount Den, you can book yourself and up to 8 people on a single reservation, and kids even fly free on select dates, and there are no blackout dates. The price is typically $99.99 for the first year and $59.99 on renewals, but deals do come up periodically, so it's worth watching for those. The Discount Den is not a GoWild alternative. They are not competing with each other. They are built for different travelers. If you have a family or regularly book for a group, Discount Den is your conversation. If you are a solo traveler with real schedule flexibility, GoWild is still the answer, but only if your home airport gives you the routes that make it work. So here's my verdict on the GoWild Pass now that I actually have it. The pass does what it promises, but only if 3 things are true for you. 1, your home airport has enough direct GoWild routes to make the math work without repositioning. 2, your real travel windows clear the blackout calendar, not your wish list, your actual schedule. And 3, you have genuine flexibility on return flights because you're booking capacity-controlled inventory, not guaranteed seats. If all 3 of those boxes check, run the math on your specific situation, and it will likely point you towards a yes. If any one of them does not check, start with the city-to-city tool and the blackout calendar and be honest with what the numbers are telling you. The math says walk away before you buy, not after. Now that you've seen how to actually use the GoWild Pass, you need to see that full breakdown from the first video, because that is where the credit card strategy and the full pass math live, and you can find them right here.